The edition of Indo-US Joint Training Exercise Yudh Abhyas 2022 is currently underway in Oli in Uttarakhand. This exercise is being conducted in high altitude close to the LAC for the first time ever. Yudh Abhyas is conducted annually between India and the United States with the aim of exchanging best practices, tactics, techniques and procedures between the armies of the two nations. Times Now gets you a ground report.
In the joint military operations between the India and the United States in Yudh Abhyas, Oli, you see behind me another drill, that is the counter-insurgency operation, where the scene of a village has been created. In this village, there are people or the hostiles or the people who are inside these houses, the terrorists who are to be neutralized by the forces together. There are ways and means, the combat drills that are taking place. There are search and rescue operations, and these soldiers from the India and the United States Army, they are together showcasing their interoperability and the combat skills in this counterinsurgency drill. And not only the soldiers, the other elements like the falcon and also the trained dogs are being utilized in these particular operations. And these drills are quite significant in those areas of the world where India is also deployed in the United Nations peacekeeping missions. As we know that this exercise is taking place according to the mandate of United Nations, where US and Indian soldiers are together taking place in this particular drill, where the hostages will be rescued, the hostiles will be neutralized. What you see behind me is the rock craft training which is happening in the Indo-US Joint Military Exercise Yudh Abhyas. And if we talk about this drill, a soldier may be called upon to discharge his duty on various locations, various terrains. And this is very important for a soldier to know about these high rocks. These rocks are steep rocks which are around 50 meters, 45 to 50 meters in their height. And you can see how these soldiers are skillfully climbing these rocks with the use of ropes and different kind of knots which they tie on these rocks. And this is the training where the US troops say they've learnt a lot from the Indian soldiers, because they are quite skilled in this kind of rock craft climbing, as they've been deployed in such terrains, be it along the line of actual control or the northern borders, where they have been deployed for a very long time. Now what you see is the jungle lane training, where the soldiers from India and United States are together training, and jungle terrain calls upon a soldier's skill to act on his reflexes and instincts, because there are challenges in these dense forests where the visibility is not good and there can be hostile movement anytime. So while walking in the buddy pair, these soldiers together train for the firing exercises, and that too within seconds. So this is the reflex firing exercise that's happening here in Oli in the Indo-US Yudh Abhyas. The Indo-US Joint Military Exercise is not only an opportunity to learn from each other, but also to showcase the might of India's defense forces, how it's increased. The Indo-US Joint Military Exercise is not only an opportunity to learn the combat skills from each other, but also an opportunity to learn about the weapons of each other. And here at Oli, at the foreign training node, we see the display of weapons and equipments that are being used by the Indian Army and also the US Army, and how it is also a show of strength, show of show of prowess by the Indian Army at this high altitude. And all these weapons you see are being deployed in all these areas. And here you see the rocket launchers, you see the handheld laser dazzler, you see the new LMGs, the new assault rifles that are being inducted into the Indian Army, that are being taken from Israel, from US, and we also see a number of other weapons that the US Army has brought along in this exercise. And this is definitely an opportunity to learn and to become stronger together. What we see here is the trap lane that has been created by the Indian Army soldiers in a jungle terrain to control the movement of the hostile. And here you see the explanations also going on of these traps, how they work and how this whole natural resource has been creatively used by the Indian Army soldiers. And this is a very important feature of the jungle warfare. And in the central sector, if we talk, we have such terrains, we have such jungles where we see a lot of hostile movement which can be controlled, and the access can be denied to these foreign enemies or the hostiles. And this is how the explanations are going on, and soon you will see how the trap will engulf the person who is not required here, the enemy or the hostile.